What's that? No introduction is needed for Chris Guthrie. All right, so I'm not going to break out my thing and read what he wrote because, again, he probably wrote a lot more. No, he's obviously very, very humble, Chris Guthrie, right? And you guys, how many people came through just Chris? There's a lot of people in this room, right? So Chris and I, let's tell a quick story before Chris comes up, because we have some time to work with this afternoon. Chris, he's an affiliate marketer. He's well-renowned in many different things, and he gets a big following because, he's a great guy, and he delivers on everything, right? As we have tried to do. And hopefully we're doing that for you guys as well. But he and I met because we were both one of the top people for ASM. I met him at ASM 3 for affiliate stuff, and then we met him at 4, and we were talking like how can we work together, do different things. And in ASM 4, I had my own private event the day before ASM Live, and then he had his own. And we're talking about this is stupid. We should just see if we can combine groups and see if we can present together. It'll be more beneficial. And we decided actually, 3 days before ASM 5 videos first launched or actually the course opened up, or launched, I don't remember, but it was like 3 days before that we decided that we're going to work together. And he's been paired up with Brian for some time, and we had our group together. We married together, and we have a better group now because we decided to work together. And I thank Chris for joining us because he brings a lot to the table, and so does Brian. I appreciate you guys being here. So Chris, as you know, he is master brain when it comes to developing software to make this business a lot easier. But he's going to be talking about building an email list, which the reason why he has the following he does is because he knows how to do that. He's going to show you and talk about here how to do this for your product business so you can do the things that we've talked about throughout this weekend so far, which is to be able to sell, like Janae was saying, it's great having customers, but if you can sell them over and over again, that's to get that following, it's going to be a lot easier to make more money, and then also to when you launch new products as well, to sell them to get something up and running. Once you get things up and running, things with this business become a lot easier. So you guys, I like to call it, when you guys are starting this business, it's like going up the mountain with this big boulder. Once you start getting that boulder up over the hill and start it rolling, that's when things really start getting fun. Greg and Heather, where are you guys at? It's starting to get fun, isn't it? It was a lot of work to get to that point, but it's definitely worth it. So without further ado, Chris Guthrie. Let's give him a big hand.
Can you guys hear me all right? Ooh, nice. This is nice, Brian. This thing. Let's make sure my clicker works. All right, so email lists. How many people joined ASM through me did it from an email link, a link in an email I sent out? How many from a post on my Facebook page? So none, right? So email lists really provide you a channel that everyone still checks, right? Everyone still has email. Everyone still is really active in email every single day. And if you look at Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, all these other ones, Snapchat, Booyah, that's the social network I'm going to be launching later. No, I'm just kidding. But you look at these and there's so much distraction. Like, people are active on these platforms, but when it comes to email, people are always going to be there. And I learned this very early on, and that's why I got into doing email. And I'm going to apply it to the Amazon business so that you can see how you can use it for yourself as well. All right, so the reason why I like email is, of course, you control the traffic source. And this is really important. This is the most important point about emails, is that you can do what you want with it, and it's yours, If you're using these other platforms, then sometimes you can lose that, right? So, for example, this is great, right? So email, I've been using Aweber, GetResponse, and Infusionsoft for a few of the companies that I run. And, so I get a lot of email subscribers, and these are all people that in some way have a relationship, or they've signed up some other websites that we run. And so, of course, anytime we have something that's relevant to that audience, we can send an email, and we have instant traffic to whatever it is we're talking about. It can be anything. It could even just be a podcast, blog post. It could be an Amazon listing. It could be anything. Now, the reason why I like email, I mentioned it before, again, controlling the traffic source, but I've had this happen, right, where I'm cruising along, and then it's, oh no, right? Crap. This is a Google Analytics screenshot, and I can't remember where I even grabbed this one at, which site it was, but I should have put like an animated penguin or panda. Anyone here SEO or into SEO and something? Okay. So you've seen, these things can happen and then all of a sudden crash, right? Which sucks. Or you get the slow death where you're like this. No, I want my money. It's going away. And this sucks, right? So building an email list while you have all this great traffic is how you can prevent having this run out and then being like, oh, well, what do I do now, right? So other free traffic sources, they don't always last, right? So I demonstrated that with Google traffic. Facebook, for example, I mentioned, they updated their algorithm a while back with their organic reach for Facebook pages. So, I never even tried to push my Facebook page to my blog, and that's why, and I knew this would happen, that they would eventually think, it's Facebook. They want to monetize everything, and so they're going to start charging for it. So I never bothered. I know some people, they did really well just building up a Facebook page and monetizing it, making hay while the sun shines. But I didn't get into it, right? And you can see, there's a random blog post, only 205 people, small chunk of people that have actually seen it. So again, you have much higher chance at engagement with email. And so these are the main values you can have with having an email list for an Amazon-focused business, right? So it can help you launch products. It can help you engage with your audience. And it can also help you with supplementing earnings. I believe that with Amazon, there's just so much free traffic that it'd be pretty difficult to replace that. And even people have mentioned Ezra before. He even advocates, he has Shopify and other things, but it's still, there's so much money and so much traffic on Amazon that, it's going to be difficult to replace that. But it's important to be able to try and supplement that with additional traffic. And so email is how you can do that. Now, this is the topics we're going to be covering about building an email list, for those of you that aren't aware. So list building basics, list building using your website, list building using other sources, and then also how to use your email list, because that's something that people need to know as well. And there's a lot of people I know that I made this mistake as well, that have built email lists and then not really done anything with them. So let me talk about that. All right, so list building basics. And this is in the context of running a website, okay? So if you have a source of traffic, and we'll get to all this as we go along, but you need to have something to offer these people to get them onto your email list, right? Some incentive. And this is probably nothing new if you've seen this before. You can have some type of lead magnet. You can offer, in the case of Amazon, some future free product offers, future discount product offers, or you can do other types of angles as well. But you're offering something of value and then getting them to opt into your email list. One note on that too, actually. So how many people have an email list? That's one of the questions I want to ask. So, okay, so about 30% of the room. Okay. Are you using double opt-in or single opt-in right now? It's double or single? Okay, good. Yeah, single is what I prefer. It's dramatic drop-off in people that actually sign up for an email list and then come in and click. And in general, the deliverability that you get from your email list provider, it's still going to be pretty solid at a single opt-in. So making that simple, just do single opt-in, and you're going to be able to do better. So here's some of the companies you can use to build your email list. I've been using Aweber. I actually don't remember how long it's been. It's a long time. Aweber, GetResponse, and MailChimp's a good one too if you are just starting out and you don't want to spend any money. They have a good free plan. I believe it's 2,000 subscribers for free. And then after that, you have a paid plan. I think they may have some other features that you don't have, or that they don't give to their free plan. But this is another one to get. So keep these in mind here as you go along. So best place to implement your opt-in forms on your site. Several spots, pop-ups, which we'll talk about, top of the site, feature boxes, in content, end of content, and your sidebar, right? So these are areas within your website. So pop-ups, who likes these? Who likes seeing these pop-ups when you're on a site? Anyone? No one likes them? I love them. I love these pop-ups because they are so effective at getting people to sign into, to sign up for your email list. And the thing you have to keep in mind is that even if you don't like something, I like them for the purpose that they serve in marketing, but not necessarily as a user. They're annoying, but they work. And so even if you don't like it, it works. And so many people do it, it's just not something you can really ignore. And the other thing too, with pop-ups, you can do there's a lot of stuff you can control with them. There's a lot of different software programs, which I'll talk about in a moment, that you can use. And so there's things you can do like when someone starts to move their mouse out of the browser, a pop-up can display. And that's important because if they're already going to be leaving your website anyways, you may as well get them to opt into your email list, and you can provide value to them throughout your email list and whatever it is you're going to be offering them. Additionally, you can also do things where when you're scrolling down the page, it will pop up so you can see they're interested in it. I prefer exit intent type pop-ups. And then after that, time-based. So you can just have it display after a certain period of time. And now the one top of site, so this is actually a screenshot from a survey site that we have that is monetized through affiliate network or affiliate marketing. Anyways, this is just something that sits above the content, right? And you can have these little call to actions that animate. So you're looking at a page and then this little button goes, hey, come click me, come click me. And it does really well. So, and you can split test that to see what's best. Feature boxes. So this would be if you have a company blog, right? So if you have your own website, you're going to maybe have Shopify or whatever, you might have a blog component. And so inside your blog, the top area here, you have a feature box. This is for a theme that's there, and they're offering a free report listing off bullet points, what you're going to get, the value you get from signing up. Enter your email, and you're good to go. Next, in content. So this would be in the middle of your article about barbecue, a recipe, I believe, I used for this one, and you have the email, right? After that, end of content. When people get to the end of your content, and if they haven't clicked one of the links that you wanted them to click earlier, like to your product listing or to anything else that you're trying to monetize with, then may as well offer them an email opt-in. And then lastly, the sidebar, right? So this is an example one I found on a barbecue site, just over here on the sidebar. This would be terrible for conversion, by the way, but you wouldn't want to use this. That's another thing, too. You've seen sidebar opt-ins. Don't just say, sign up for our newsletter. You should sign up for it. Because really, you have to convince people why they should bother, right? People are very lazy, and you have to be able to provide value to them and demonstrate that very quickly with any type of opt-in that you use, whether it's a pop-up, all the way on down to a sidebar ad. So if I had to pick favorites, I actually put them in the order in which I showed you them, but pop-ups work really well, and I would run those on any page. So even if you had a Shopify site, running those on any one of your pages there would work. Top of a site, like you could do that on any page as well. Feature boxes, I'd say more as a blog, right? Because if you're on a Shopify site, you're more interested in actually selling your products in some cases than getting people onto your email list. It's more of something you get as you go along. In content, blog pages. End of content, I'd say any page. And then a sidebar is another one that I'd put on any page of a site. So that's how I'd list them out in order. So how do I actually make these opt-in forms, right? So I know that a lot of people have email lists, about 30%. Are you all familiar with the form creation for these different types of, okay. I'm seeing a few shaking heads, okay. So again, you can use these companies like Aweber, GetResponse, MailChimp, and then everyone has these free form builders. You can display them however you want, the control, the look, and you can use those, or you can also sign up for other different types of software companies that can do better, right? So some of the companies that we use, leadpages.com, it's a pay service to do that. But you can do landing pages, and you can do things like, here's a free report on barbecue recipes, and sign up for your email. And these work really well because the only action on the page is, of course, to click a button and enter your email. Pop-ups, again, of course. And another company, Hello Bar. So this is one that does the top little bar at the top of the page. So this is a free service as well, but I think they have pay for branding removal and some additional features. SumoMe is another free one. It's another tool you can write down. Actually, we'll be getting slides out, so you don't have to write them down, but it's another free one. You can pay to remove branding. And they have something like where you can do a scroll box, where once you're scrolling down, you can have the opt-in display. And you can also do giveaways, which I'll talk about a little bit later, as those are really, really effective at building an email list quickly. So another one, too, rafflecopter.com. Anyone heard of this company? I figured Janae had heard of it, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is a good one. I'm going to talk about it in a bit. They have a free and a paid service. And here's like an example over here on the side of a promo they did, and that's 10,000 entries to this promo, this giveaway for some barbecue-related product. I'm going to show you how you can find companies, or websites rather, that you can use to get to do that, to promote your product. So you might be saying, okay, this is great. You can put opt-ins onto your site. You can get people to opt into your email list, and you've got an email list. But what is the use in doing that if I don't have any traffic to my website, right? It's a great question. But I think we're ready for questions. That's all the time I have. That's all the time. No, of course, so you can use other sources, right? You can use your site once you're up and running, but in the meantime, use these other sources. So this is more of a set it and forget it. Set it up on your existing site, start building your email list, and that's great. But in the meantime, use these. So putting an opt-in form, yeah, so I talked about that. So 3 areas you can build your email list additionally. So other websites, Facebook, YouTube, and then also product inserts. I didn't really talk about that one that much because I'm assuming that most people know about these. Do you know about product inserts? You've been hearing about them? Lots of shaking heads? Okay. If you have questions, you can ask in the Q&A. And I know that everyone seems to be running their inserts a little bit differently. Okay, so here's how you can actually identify websites that you can use to help build your email list. So you can just search for, if it's a barbecue grill brush, you can search for a barbecue blog on Google. And once you pull up those results, you're going to find other things too. Like, for example, Alltop. So alltop.com is a site you can go to, and it has every single different type of topic you can think of, and you put in your interest, you look for it, and then these are all links here to different types of barbecue blogs that you can search for. And I'm going to show you how you can use that information in a moment. But even when I was just running around looking for different types of barbecue blogs that I could contact, for examples, I found this other site called The Smoke Ring. And it's this network of barbecue-related websites. And if I go there, I see there's 1,200 other barbecue website people that you can partner, and you can contact these people, right? So once you have your niche, you're just going to be doing initial search through Google. You go onto each site, and you look for other ways you can find other partner websites you could reach out to. And in this case here, I found this smoke ring place that has, 1,200 websites. And so really, it's very, very easy. Like, this is something you can do between the next speaker and a break, really, to find a bunch of different websites you can contact in your niche. And so the step after that is to determine if they've already been doing these types of promotions. Because what you want to do is you want to make it easier, right? So if you contact these websites that are already doing reviews, giveaways, promotions, etc., contests, you can search. Every blog and every site's going to have a search function. You search and you can see, they've got a book review, they've got a Texas rib candy review, barbecue sauce review. So they're doing reviews already, and you know that that's something that they're already doing. So if it's a site that you contact, they aren't doing that, then you might have a hurdle to overcome, or they'll just say no. But if they are doing it, then you know, okay, I'm a company. I can go ahead and contact these people, and we can continue on that way. So another cool part is if they are using Rafflecopter, you can search for Rafflecopter in their site, because oftentimes it'll just pull up in the search because it's showing, it's powered by Rafflecopter. And you'll find these huge promos. Like, for example, this one here was for a big barbecue smoking thing, or I don't even know what it is. Big green egg, I don't even know what that is either. In any case, 30,000 entries, and I actually contacted this site to get pricing on what it costs for them to run these. And I asked how many of these entries were emails, and it was 5,000. So 5,000 email, that's pretty good. 5,000 people on your email list with a single promotion. So this is how it works. And so if you find this, it's really effective. What it can do is people get entries into this contest by liking, following on Twitter, joining an email list, sharing. And the way you can do it is this software will you can either have people like the page of the website and your page, or join your email list and their email list. And so there's different things you can do to control how the promotion should be done. And so this way you're basically building not only your email list, but also your social media following as well. So you can then have that audience to leverage on other platforms. And of course, so the more they do, the more entries they get. And so you get a lot of exposure to your brand that way. So this is something you can offer. You can just say, hey, I'd like to get the email subscribers, but you can get all the social media. I'll put up the prizes. Or you could just say, I just want the social media. You can take the email list, and you can do this, right? You put up the prizes. And the one thing to keep in mind, though, is as you contact these websites, the bigger they are, the more they're going to say, okay, pay up, right? I'll take some money to do this, and we can run it. But the thing is, most of the people that are out there selling on Amazon aren't really doing this. There are some of them, but there's not enough numbers en masse to make this be less expensive than running Facebook ads. Facebook ads is something you can do, but this is also an outside-of-the-box way to build your email lists and everything else too. So you could also just say, hey, I'll pay for a promo and I want to get everything, right? The email list, social media, etc. And so what I like to recommend is track your contacting efforts through a Google Sheet, and then ideally have your VA do it. So, that's in the back. Yeah, because you don't want to be doing this yourself. You want to be focusing on the highest dollar value items. Actually, just kind of piggybacking on her presentation, that's the biggest thing for me was hiring people and building my team up, because there's only so many hours in the day, and you come to the point where you just can't work any harder, and that's when you have to start hiring people. And then it's so freeing, because it's like, oh, that's not me, that's Casey, or that's not me, that's D, it's my VA. So I actually just hired another VA earlier this year, and it's not too expensive. So here's actually, you can organize this sheet. This is what I do here. So you have your website URL on the side, when you last followed up with them, whether or not they do reviews or promotions, whether or not they have Rafflecopter, and then also their traffic numbers. And then you can also see if you have a promotion plan with them. And really, it's not going to take that many, maybe even a couple, and you are going to have a pretty sizable email list that you can use every time you want to launch a new product. All right, so I want to share an email script for contacting these websites, but people always ask for these, right? They always ask for, can I just have something copy-paste and I can send it? I don't really like to give those things, because half the time that's what they do. They just copy-paste and send it. And when you're writing these emails, you don't want to make it look like it's something that a bunch of people are seeing. You want to make it look like you're just contacting someone individually. It's the biggest mistake that people make when they contact out of the blue, cold emails, I guess you could call it, is write an email like it's, hello, big company. I am a barbecue grill brush maker, and I'm interested in putting a barbecue brush onto a promotion for your site, right? You want to write it like you're only going to that person. So you can actually research, you can read the about page, make sure you address them by name. And again, this is something your VA could do. And so you can say, hello, Tim, we have a really high quality barbecue brush that we released on Amazon. I'd love to send you a free unit and offer 10 units for giveaway on your website. Would you be interested? I see you've done some reviews and promos in the past, so I'd love to know the process, right? And you just open it up. You don't just launch into it. Just very inviting type of email. If you've seen they're already using Rafflecopter, here's another one I can do. You can say, you've already been running Rafflecopter with some past promotions. Can we use the same platform for a giveaway for my brand? It's very simple. And the one thing, too, is, again, in sales and just in life, you're going to get a lot of no's all the time. And so just even to give some examples here, I contacted several barbecue blogs, and this guy's like, no thanks, I'll decline. But that's the thing, you take rejection and you move on to the next thing, because there's always another 1,999, however many it was, sites that you can go to contact. I think it was actually Kiyosaki yesterday who talked about being the worst sales rep, and he was saying that when he got his advice from his rich dad, he said, well, how many times are you doing phone calls, right? And it was only 3 or 0, he said. And it's the same thing with this, and really in any aspect in life. So you can apply it to here as well. And again, too, the bigger the websites, the more frequently they're going to be contacted. So this is one that I contacted, and they said, I need. So I was sending these emails and then not putting a link to my barbecue grill brush because I don't have one. That's not a niche. It's just a niche I use an example. But I wanted to see what their rates would be, and so that's what I did. So he's like, I need to look at the barbecue brush first, to have a link to your website. But he says, I get a hit up weekly to review barbecue products and only endorse certain products. So that comes back to the fact that, you want to have a good, high-quality product, everything that ASM teaches. So this is another question people might have. I mentioned traffic was one of the columns that we keep track of the data in terms of adding these people up. You can use these free toolbars, so SEObook.com and SEOquake.com. They have toolbars. So over here you have this little number here that's circled. That's 4K. That's short for 4,000 unique visitors. And this data is actually much, much lower normally. So they have quite a bit of traffic. It's probably more like 25 or more. I know on YouTube they have 29,000 subscribers. So there's a lot of people there. And you can also contact them through, or you can research their traffic through quantcast.com. It's another site you can look at that. This other thing too is that, again, if they're bigger, they're going to be like, okay, sure, this isn't really a win-win because I'm basically going to be so I sent him this email, and he's like, this isn't really a win-win But you can lead it like that because sometimes if they're smaller, they'll be like, sure, I'll promote your product for free and not even ask you for any money, because you're putting up the prize. But again, the bigger they are, the more they want. In this case here, this site, which I believe was getting, based on my estimates, about 20,000 plus unique visitors, be $100 plus some money to boost it on their Facebook page, right? So they do promotions through their Facebook page, so you can do that. So another source, using Facebook. Frankly, again, I'm not a big fan. I mentioned before that, organic reach for Facebook pages is low, and you've got to pay to boost the pages. But there's two primary methods you can use. Lorette had a great suggestion, actually, in terms of creating a Facebook fan page for your brand, and then also a Facebook fan page that's just, I like barbecue, right, or just barbecue fans, because then you can have it be more generic, right? People are more likely to like an interest that's based on something specific, or like an interest that they have, than a brand, because, it's a brand. And the other one is Facebook groups. So, so if you don't have a Facebook brand page, you should definitely set it up, obviously. But getting Facebook likes, you can either use traffic from your website, so just having your social media presence on there, or you can also do for paid ads. I'm not a huge Facebook paid ads guy. I prefer to get free traffic, and also some of these times using, unique outside-the-box traffic sources, like contacting websites to get you to help do that. But it really would be as simple as just, you like barbecue, like us, right? That's a really simple ad you could start with to test out if you wanted to run some ads and build a Facebook page that you could then use to build your email list. I've had a lot of success with Facebook groups in other niches, just contacting the admins. So you just search for it, and then you want to make sure you read the rules of the group. And the first thing you post, you don't want to just say, hey, look at my product. Because I'm banning people all day that do that in the Facebook groups that we run. So you want to contact these Facebook group admins and say, hey, I have this product. I know you're interested in it. Is there a giveaway we can do? And then that place you can send them to any page on your site to collect their email, sign up for anything else. And you can, of course, then say, hey, let's, free product. Would you like to promote it? And if they don't want to promote, then just say, hey, I'll pay you $50. And you can look at the size of their page, and that number will maybe need to go up a bit. Another strategy you can use as well is using YouTube. And Brian talked a lot about YouTube, Google Hangouts, but mentioning bringing them onto the YouTube platform. So you're creating a YouTube channel, enabling some of these extra channel features. These are important. I want to talk about those. And then also recording videos for your products, okay? So the channel is really simple. You just create your channel, upload some artwork, and then you can enable these features that actually help you get a lot more value out of your YouTube channel. These are ones that I wasn't never really huge into YouTube, and that's something I want to spend more time on, but I didn't notice these until I started other people marketing with these. You can add, so these features here specifically are ones that are worth adding. So external annotation, custom thumbnails. And so when you come into your YouTube channel, there's a list of all these different things you can do. And you've got to go through the steps because it'll be like grayed out, or just, and then it says what you have to do to be in good standing. And then that's how you're able to add these, like external annotation and custom thumbnails. And then additionally, you can also add in this associated website. This is an important aspect as well, because then you can associate your YouTube channel with your website and then send traffic from your YouTube videos back to your website. And of course, you can do whatever you want with that traffic once they get there. So featured content, this is another part in here as well. Put your primary video that you want to get the most views on and put that on as well. So these are the ones that matter: external annotation, custom thumbnails. And the reason why I want to use custom thumbnails is because you're going to get a lot better click-through rate. When people are scanning through search results, you can upload these images, like for example, like this guy. I want to see what happened to this guy, so I'm going to click that. Right? Can you see that? Maybe you can't see it as well. He's holding himself. I think he got hit by something. The other thing too, associating a website, this can help you send that traffic to any place you want. So either it's a VIP reviewers page, a squeeze page you're going to build your email list. And additionally too, this is more recent, these cards. So you can do Facebook cards, or not Facebook, but YouTube cards. So you can have these, it'll pop up near the end of the video, and it will have like a little eye icon. And people can click that eye icon, and it will then, or the information icon, and then it will have a little option where you can send that traffic, right? So you can say, click the associated website option and send people that way. So in terms of actually creating some videos to help you get some of these people to subscribe to your email list. How-to style videos are really effective. Brian showed a pretty good one the other day, showing how to use a product. Unboxing videos. This is something where you can demonstrate the quality of your packaging. So maybe not do that until you've gone through your first inventory order and you're doing your better quality packaging. Or if you started out with something good, you can do that. And then also a VIP review club video, right? You can just say, hey, we're looking for people to review our products. And as you're up on Amazon, people are going to be searching your brand anyways. And they'll see these videos and they're like, free products? Sure. And eventually, too, you might decide, okay, you have enough people on your VIP review club list. And then once you do that, you're like, okay, I'm going to pull that video down, and you could do something else. Okay, so what should you do with an email list once you have it, right? Send them emails. This sounds so obvious, but when I first started building email lists, I was so afraid of sending emails because, like, well, what if people are annoyed, right, that they're getting an email from me? Or what if they want to unsubscribe, right? But the thing is, that's the whole purpose is this, if you have an email list of 2,000 subscribers and you never sent them an email, and I've talked to people all the time that do this, then what's the purpose, right? Either you don't know what to say, that might be one reason why, or you're afraid they're going to unsubscribe. And I've had people say, should I contact the people that unsubscribed? No, never. I mean, it's always just because they have too many emails in general, or they just don't care about whatever it is you're talking about anymore, right? The other thing that you want to keep in mind as well is that the longer you wait until you actually email people, if you're already out there and you're building your list and not doing it, people are going to naturally lose interest in what you have to offer anyways. So again, you might as well email them. So here's some strategies you can use for emailing. I like to use automatic follow-up sequences because it's set it, forget it, and then it just continues to make me money. So first one you could do in the context of this business, you could send your freebies. That'd be whatever you promised them to sign up for email list in the first place. Then you can offer them a free promo code for a product review. You can also offer them percentage off. You can also then mix in content, right? So there's a lot of different things you can do. And once you set up your follow-up sequence, you can filter around when the emails send to optimize your open rates. Because, for example, every single time you do a follow-up sequence, your open rates are going to drop every email on the way down. It's just naturally people lose interest over time. And that's something to keep in mind as well. Another reason why you should just go ahead and send people emails. Another thing you do too is through email providers, send a single one-time broadcast. And this is a great way to, once you have your email list, okay, it's time to launch it. I want to get some reviews for this product. And you can say, buy this at a discount, get this free, etc. Another good important part, right? If you're using Rafflecopter or one of these other contests, you can take the email list people that have signed up and say, sorry you didn't win. But here's a coupon code to buy it anyways, right? So you can still get a sale potentially as well. So actually this is something, so one of the businesses I run is a WordPress plugin, and I actually kind of forgot we had this one, but if anyone wants it, it's free. There's no charge or anything. It's a contest plugin, and you sign up. When someone enters into the email, they get a unique referral link, and then if they share that with their friends, they get extra entries into the contest. They can like a page, Facebook, the page, LinkedIn, follow you on Twitter, etc. And if they do that, then they get more entries. So if you want to download it, feel free. Right there, contestblitz.com/Arizona, and then it'll just give you the WordPress plugin. And that's really what I recommend for your company site, WordPress site, or even just like what Janae was talking about earlier with the promo code discount, or brandcoupon.com. Because that can do really, really well there too. People are searching for your promo code, and then you say, hey, win this for free. You already know, I shouldn't say cheap because I did the same thing, but you already know they're cheap, they're looking for a deal. Might as well get them to opt into a contest. So, any questions? Feel free to let me know. Yeah? Thanks. I think it might not be on.
Did I win?
Huh?
I got you first?
You good?
You first? Mary?
I'm good, baby.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I've never had an email list, but one of my questions was, I know you have control over your email list, but if
Yeah.
you're going through some of these sites, do they ever retain your contacts or your people, or is that only 100% unique to you?
It's so through Rafflecopter, for example, people can sign up for both, but they usually have to separately decide to opt into both. But usually you'd never be sharing a list; it'd just be your own, and then yeah, you do whatever you want with that list.
Cool, thanks.
Cool.
Hey, Chris. Sounds like Rafflecopter is your number one out of that list you gave. That number, like.
Yeah, I mean,
four.
it's a nice, if they're already using it. So Rafflecopter, they have it's fairly expensive, so I wouldn't recommend necessarily just buying it. Find sites that are already using it, and then you can run it, and then they're already paying for it. Lots of larger sites have it.
Cool. And also, you mentioned that you generally give away or give giveaways to the for the blog. Do you always do that, or do you do discount sometimes? Like I'll give you, I don't know, 10, 50% off codes or 20, 50% off codes.
It can vary. I mean, the thing is, you can just email and say, okay, hey, I'd like to give away this many units. You could email another one and say, I'd like to give away one, right? It really varies based on the size of the traffic. I don't really have a specific formula on the amount. And then another thing too, I mean, you can use, I didn't really mention this, but I figured people knew about that. Secret Deals Club, anyone been using that so far? Yeah, so I mean, you have access to that for free for at least five launches, and that's another way too that you can do the initial launch. I know that Casey said we're a little bit backlogged, but we're working on that. Yeah.
So this may happen to all the other ASMRs too, because they'll be launching multiple products. So do you recommend having one big list or having multiple lists for each product item as they launch?
I just do a separate, so you can make as many lists as you want. So I'd almost make lists for each different site, depending on what it was that I did for that site. If it was a contest, then okay, the messaging that you can send people is going to be different than people that just sign up for your email list to get a lead magnet. If they just sign up for a contest before, then okay, they were interested in the product to win, but I can now send them a coupon code, right? So I would just make multiple lists, at least one list per brand though. Definitely, you don't need one list per product, just one list per brand to make it simple.
And usually, what's the conversion rate you see? Because like, say in the Facebook, when you promote a post, the number of people it reaches is limited. The same is the case with email. You have 10,000 subscribers, you send an email, but only 1,000 may open it. But so in general, what is the good conversion rate do you see?
So open rates are always going to vary based on the niche you're in, how long you've had the list, because the longer someone's been on your email, the more likely they are to just not be interested anymore. But 20 to 25% open rate or so. Cool.
So my question is, so nowadays, even if we have an email list, we get so many emails, and let's say a subscriber is a Gmail, and now Gmail has a promotion tab. So even if you send an email, it's going to land in the promotion tab, and many people don't even look at that. So I remember in one of the posts or somewhere recently, there was some Google codes, like codes that you can embed while sending that, and then it will, come in the inbox. Is something you recall about that?
I'm not as familiar with that. I know that I do know about the promotions tab, of course, and emails potentially getting up in there, but I'm not as familiar with the coupon codes showing up in that way.
Oh, no, not the coupon codes. Like any email which is like coming from Aweber, what happens is sometimes they land up in promotions.
Yeah.
But there was some code from Google. I don't know exactly what was that, but if you include that in the email, that email will appear in the inbox.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Sure. Yeah, I mean, so one of the other things that was on the list was reverse engineering, and I had a presentation, but I thought, it's pretty simple what it is, but ultimately, for my business, what I decided, and I went to the Sourcing Profits event last weekend to decide, what to do next, and really it was I got to the point where as you get to a certain size, you need people to help, right? We already know that's the case. I've seen it in every other business I've started. But the thing is, for whatever reason, wasn't doing that, right? And so I went to the Sourcing Profits to decide, okay, how do I take this business from, my best month was 36,000. I want to get it to 100K a month before the end of the year. How do I do that? And I talked to Paul and Isaac, and it was clear, okay, I need a sourcing agent, or I need, and I was at that point in my business. I've been selling on Amazon for a year. And so really when it came to looking at these other companies to see how they're doing so well, like for example, anyone hear of the Friendly Swede? I know they're in they have like 2,000 something products. Yeah, so I'm seeing some hedge. Yeah, I mean, I looked into that company to see, okay, how are they so successful beyond just being prolific in the number of products they have? And when it came down to it, I found that that was basically a large part of why they were successful. They were using the top 10,000 reviewers to do their reviews for their new products, and that was about it, because they had all the seller feedback from their listings to do well. And so that's actually how I came up with the idea for the review software for AmaSuite, but potentially helped ruin it for everybody else that was using it, since Amazon's been changing the review. But anyways, that's what I'm focusing on now is scaling up the team to do more products so I can go faster, and looking at other larger sellers. That's what I determined was the best way, was just launch a lot of products. Sounds simple, and it is. But that's what I kept finding when I was looking at all these huge sellers. It's just, all right, what's the common thread? They have a lot of products. Okay. I don't know where Dave is. Anyone have any other questions? Anything random? No? Sea of faces staring. Yeah.
So when we're talking about the lead magnets, so let's say I have a website, and so my question is, what lead magnet would convert the best? For example, is going to be an ebook or a video or a cheat sheet or maybe any kind of report or something? Based on your experience, what works the best?
Interestingly, the simpler the better. I've done things like full-on courses in other businesses, and multiple days of emails, and people get tired, and so if you just do something simple like an ebook, that's really what's going to be pretty effective. Okay. So if it's barbecue recipes. So.
And another question is, it's related to Amazon. For example, like what I'm doing for my product right now is, when a customer gets the product, they have a product insert from where they have a product insert which says register for lifetime warranty and ebook. So if they go there, if they give their email ID, I use lead pages, so we'll deliver the ebook and keep their email ID. Also ask them to, maybe on thank you page, ask them to like our Facebook page. So the question is, when we send the ebooks, let's say if we're using SalesBacker, which is like using connected to Amazon Seller Central, or maybe using ActiveLoop, or let's say buyer messaging system from Amazon. Yeah. And if we send an ebook, are we allowed to have those, links? Like for the ebooks, I know it's not allowed in the emails, but what about the PDF that we are sending? Or let's say there's an image in a PDF which says, it's not a text, it's an image.
Yeah, well, so, what David mentioned the other day about using Amazon S3 to link, I wasn't as aware of that, but from my perspective, I don't want to tell people to use something, thousands of people, and then have it maybe be wrong. But yeah, so in those emails, there's very strict guidelines about what you can and can't send. You can do a PDF attachment, but then if you're doing a PDF attachment and then inside that PDF, it's like, sign up for my email list. That's a little more going to be, it's potentially a risk, right? Because Amazon tracks all those emails and they store it over, I think it's like 2 years or something. So yeah, I would just stay with the rules and yeah.
Thanks.
Cool.
Any other questions? We've got a few minutes, so if you guys have them, ask them. That's the expert standing right there.
Regarding the email to offer a coupon code for a review, how does that work as far as, okay, they get the email, the coupon code, do you have a way of giving it to them after they do the review? Because if you just give it to them and they don't do the review, or...
Well, that's why you can also use just the Secret Deals Club that you all have access to. Because then what we do with that is you can automate the delivery of the one-time use codes, and you can just look at who's requested a coupon code, and then you can see what the reviews are and approve them that way. And then those people aren't able to leave another review until they've left, or get another promo rather, until they've left a review. So in that case, you could do that. But yeah, there isn't a lot of recourse if you're just handing out the code, which is why you can also just use your email list for discounts. The main thing is that I just suggest building one, right? That's the biggest thing that I'm trying to say, is to build an email list. Yeah.
I just have a general question about growing and kind of as you were talking about the reverse engineering and they just having a lot of products, and I was kind of thinking back to what Paul Sinclair was saying yesterday about the home run. And for my, I guess my personality style and stuff, the home run talk that he had really connected with me. So trying to figure out how to ask my question. In ASM, it talks about when do you want to put on your second product, add your third, that kind of thing. My question is minimum quantities. You know, we're going to get some that might go out of the park. We might have some that'll be duds. What should we do in trying to figure out whether that product's going to be a hit or not? What should minimum quantities be? I mean, for all of us starting out, minimum quantity was, 100, 200, 300, whatever. But now when we get things rolling, what is your gut feel for a minimum product or minimum number of items to start?
Yeah, I do 500. That's what I stick with usually.
Okay, so do you ever see anybody like do 1,000, or is that just not necessary to try to with something with that large of a number?
I mean, the biggest thing is that your risk is you invest a lot into a product and you don't know yet if it's going to be successful. You've obviously done the research to determine, okay, there's interest here, it should work,
Okay.
but then the worst case scenario is it doesn't sell.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, and Paul talked about this yesterday about 500 being a good quantity that you can do, because then once you start to see it trickle sales and scaling up, you have time to be able to reorder and have it come in before you run out of stock.
Okay, so then how do you manage then making sure that you don't run out of stock then as you start adding 2 and 3 and 4 products, just from a big overview, because obviously none of us are at that point yet, but.
Yeah, I haven't started using it yet, but I know that a lot of the other much larger sellers than myself are using, I believe, Managed by Stats, Philip Jepson's tool. Yeah, so Janae's saying yeah. So yeah, and then it helps you manage your inventory and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to add something real quick to that. Managed by Stats, definitely, because you can put it in there from start to finish. Works great. But as far as quantities, and I know there's so many people I've talked to. I was just talking to Matt Clark a couple days ago, and we're just talking, just so you know, those guys want you to have success. Okay? Because we were talking, we were just brainstorming. We were like, why is 60? In fact, I want to get. He actually asked me to get a poll this weekend. How many of you have a product live on Amazon? You
Nice.
are much further ahead than all of ASM. Because seriously,
That's like 50%.
that was more than 50%.
Yeah.
60% of ASM5, 60% of ASM5 do not have a product live on Amazon yet. 60%. So, I appreciate it, thanks. Did you do a testimonial video? Oh, yeah, you did. Okay. Where was I going with this? We're trying to figure out why. What's the reason? One of the reasons is because people are trying to start with too much inventory. I was talking to a guy that went through the entire course. There was only one person so far of all our people that's been upset. He's actually a good friend of mine. And he said to me, Dave, you didn't support me. Did I support you guys? Did we support you guys? He said, you didn't answer my questions on Facebook. Really? Really? Okay. But I said to him, well, what's going on? He said, I spent $11,000 in inventory and I'm not making any sales. Look at Shane. He's like, what? You guys know the numbers that we're doing online, right? You guys know what I do. I share all the time pretty much. Tom will verify this. I don't know if he's in the room right now. Whenever I start a new product, I don't go over 100 pieces. Whoa, why? There's no reason to, because I don't know what's going to sell yet. I can follow all the steps, but there's going to be things that are just not going to work right. I am doing the volume that we are, and I will not start more than 100 pieces. That should be an aha moment for you guys. You guys agree with me? Some of them in the back room. Some of you guys are a little bit lower on the price up front, so you might go a little higher on the piece 500. I won't go to 500 until over my third order. Yeah, and I will start with basic packaging every single time, even though I know Tom could do differently. There's no reason to put time into it until I know it's going to sell.
Dave, to clarify, what's your lead time when you're doing those though, for 100 units?
The lead time to get it?
Yeah, For your, yeah.
Usually we can get a product in, I'm going to be talking to Tom while he's here because he's here till Tuesday.
Yeah.
3 to 5 days.
Yeah. So I think that's what changes it, right? Yeah, I think that's the thing is that
Well, let's see. I have a connection with Tom. Now you do. You have the course that I have, right? You have the same tools I have. You have the exact same opportunity. I'm not talking about spending that much money. I'm talking about $400 or $500 to start a new product. Your supplier's in India? Then that's your supplier. Tom, he can work with people in China. So, I mean, you might have a special situation. But I'm just saying, there's things that I'm working with right now that I'm going through Tom, and we can get things moving like this. In fact, our goal is to have 20 new products up by Christmas. Well, I'm sorry, by the beginning of a Christmas shopping season. So my next couple of months are going to be pretty busy, right? But we're going to make that happen because you guys haven't seen it yet, but Christmas sales 3 or 4 times more than regular sales. And that's why when Janae says she's going to hit $1 million in December, she will. We also just missed a 500K badge in December last year, and it's the same reason. Actually, the inventory was a problem. It was not that I didn't pre-think it. It's the fact that I had an FDA problem. Didn't hit the 500K badge. That's okay. We'll do over $1 million this December. And then by that time next year, we'll be doing that every single month. It's just the way we're growing the business because that's going to work. When you know something's working and it's going like this, maybe you might have little drops after Christmas or whatever, you just keep doing what you're doing. Like Janae said, you just keep duplicating, right? In fact, this is going to be a good segue into our next presentation because these guys are going to tell you how to expand to Europe. Because if something's working here and they expand to the UK, Germany, Japan, soon Australia, eventually China, Canada, all over the place. And that market's going to continue growing. We were talking to Mastermind last night, and I forget, we were talking about where things are going to be in 5 years. Like, maybe eventually this opportunity will plateau, right? I don't see it happening because we have all these countries that are going to continue to grow, and they're going to have other companies that are trying to match what Amazon's doing, and that's more opportunity for us because we have more places to sell our product. You guys are in the right place at the right time. So that gives me, I'll talk about this later, but yes, for the first time you're going to hear this, there's going to be an ASM 6. And I know every time I've said this to our group, they're like, oh, crap. More competition. You even I kind of heard it in Paul's voice. He goes, you guys keep on teaching this to too many people. Did you hear that? I kind of heard that in his voice. But like I shared with you guys already yesterday, the more people we teach how to do this business correctly, the better it is going to be for us because we won't have these hijackers because we'll teach them how to make money the correct way. And there's so many different opportunities out there. I mean, it doesn't matter. You guys, we will always take, the people that want to take this business and run with it, like we are, like Janae is, like Brian is, like Chris is heading that way, you will be able to do that. You'll have that opportunity if you want to. You can take this, sky's the limit, okay? So I'll talk about more of that later because there's going to be an opportunity for you guys. Because if you think this was valuable to you and you want to make a little extra money and you can share it with some friends or whatever, you could put it through our team and we'll pay. We paid everyone last time. Anyone here got referred from someone that was already on our team? There's a few people in here, right? In fact, there's a few people that bought ASM 5 and I put up on there, hey, if you have another friend that you want to get in ASM 5 over the next couple of days, we'll pay you $1,250. And we did, yeah? So if you want to share this and help others, we could do that. We'll talk more about that later. But I wanted to make sure I really hit on that inventory thing because I think you guys are just trying too hard. And I always said keep it simple. Keep it simple. There's no reason to put too much money in inventory until you know it's going to work. And there's no reason to go other than generic packaging besides a little label on there that says your brand until you know it's going to work. Make sense? And now we're right back on time. It's almost like we planned this. Chris Guthrie, everybody. What do you think of that presentation?
I'll walk by you, try not to fall.
I tell you, I could listen to Chris for hours and hours to talk because I have so much to learn from that man right there. I'm not a tech guy. I love technology. I sell technology. I'm just not good at it. I just enjoy it. I love my gadgets and stuff. But when it comes to email marketing, obviously we're doing something right with email marketing. You guys are all in this room because of Chris and I doing email marketing, right? So, but the funny thing is that I know that I'm definitely not doing it to where I could be doing it like Chris is doing it. So because my main business is the Amazon product business. That's what my main thing is. But my passion is to give back and make a difference in this world, and this is the way I'm doing it. And I hope it's working. I hope you guys are also going to pay it forward as well. So, I share this, I can't remember, it was like the last, I share this with Matt and Jason, and I think they made it public even. Matt asked me, Matt Clark, he said, why, Dave, why do you do this? And when he heard it, he's like, oh my gosh. Because I told him, I said, if I just focused on my product business, I would already be doing a lot more than $1 million a month. Probably almost a year ago at this time. But I'm not because I choose not to. Because I don't want to work that hard. Because once you start, you get kind of comfortable. And I'm not greedy at all. I got to a comfort level, and I don't need to be doing anything crazy. But it's more important for me to make a difference. And so that's why I put so much time into you guys. That's why I do it. And that's why these guys are doing it. Okay? Because I know that, of course, we made some commission from promoting ASM to you guys, right? I guarantee you we would have made a lot more commission month after month after month if we would have focused on the Amazon product business. But all the leaders that are in this room, including Shane, who's been keeping a quiet profile this weekend, chomping on strawberries over there, puts a lot of effort into paying this forward. So I'm glad, we were talking when there was people that doing some testimonial videos, and I'm getting wordy, I'm sorry, but I see that it's making a difference when I hear what you guys are saying, and that's why we do what we do. So hopefully we can keep on doing that, and like attracts like, and I think that's why we're all in the room together, right? Okay, so anyway, because if I keep going, Peter's going to cry, and then when I see Peter cry, I start crying. So without further ado, let's go to the next presenters here. And like I said, we're just about right on time, and then this is going to be the last formal presentation, and after that we'll do a break, and we'll do the expert panel, and you guys will hopefully get a lot out of that, and then it's time to start drinking again. Did anyone start drinking already? Because I know that happened yesterday. Where's the supplier? He's out. Oh, well, you need to leave then. Peter Marcus, if you don't know Mary Jane and Peter, by the way, yesterday when I was talking about, I don't know if I share this, but they're the high school sweethearts right there. So they've been married, 20 years, just a couple days ago, right? And they have the biggest hearts. They invited us over their house. They have awesome children. They cook. They have the chickens laying eggs in the backyard. They make their own alcohol, and they only live like 20 minutes from me, so I'll go over there more often.